What's up everyone, some guy here with another Alliance War video. Kicking off of Season 22, our first war will be versing Kings of Apoko. I'll be bringing Quake, Doom, and Mr. Fantastic for that armor break synergy on Doom's Heavy. My first opponent here is M.O.D.O.K on Ebb and Flow Knockdown and Power Drain. Basically, I just have to knock him down while he's stunned and concussed to get rid of the node altogether. The strategy here is to not miss a parry, because if you miss a parry, he sometimes will throw his heavy in the corner. I'm not 100% consistent on fully evading his heavy in the corner, but it can be done, and you just gotta hold heavy twice. You just gotta tap heavy twice. But yeah, I don't want to risk it during war, so I'm just gonna try not to miss any parries. But yeah, it's a pretty standard shake and bake fight. Just gotta parry right before the aftershock timer, and to get rid of a stubborn, and he will go down pretty quickly. And next fight here we have Ebony Maw, pretty much on the same nodes, but with heavy hitter. It's a pretty simple fight as well, pretty much just the same strategy as the last fight. I really like Quaking Maw. I think it's because he has low physical resistance, so he goes down very quickly during the aftershock. Again, pretty standard fight, pairing right before the aftershock timer to get rid of stubborn. He is a stubborn defender. Next fight here we have Airwalker on Steady Build Up Fury, Heavy Hitter, and Power Alternator. I think because of Power Alternator, it might not be a good idea to do the full Doom cycle, just because I think it'll mess with Doom's power level. I've actually never fought an Airwalker in war before, so I had to duel him a few times to get used to his animation and evading his specials. I don't really know much about him other than his SP1 I think gives you 2 Dark Tide debuffs. I don't know what those debuffs actually do, but I just know most of the time I just willpower and heal from those debuffs. My plan here is just to spam my SP1 and keep an eye on the power alternator timer, just to make sure I don't have too much power before the timer switches. I don't know what happened there. I'm not sure why I did that, but his aura did save me. Plus, Doom is just so tanky. He could just probably take an SP1 and still be fine. Right there, I thought he had a shock debuff on him, but it was actually the armor break debuff expiring. So that's why I went in for a heavy, because I thought the shock will, passively stun him, but it didn't. But yeah, either way, it's a pretty simple fight, pretty safe fight for Doom, no problem. Next fight here we have Hitmonkey on Footloose and Kinetic Transference. I've fought a Blade on this node before, and it was super easy with Doom. Just basically medium, heavy, and then just bait and evade his specials. Hitmonkey, on the other hand, is a little bit tricky due to his passive abilities. I kind of forgot that he can purify debuffs during his passive abilities. So you'll see me trying to parry, and then he'll just shrug it right off. I should have played this fight slow and just waited for his passive debuffs to fall off instead of just trying to get into it. You'll see me kind of scrambling a bit. This fight is actually kind of dicey. Yeah, and I get clipped there by like a 9.5k crit from Hitmonkey. Pretty large numbers. Doom is pretty tanky, but Hitmonkey hits hard. Yeah, he hits really hard. Yeah, I got clipped there by not dashing back enough, evading his heavy as well. So it's not looking too well for me. And plus I'm getting cornered as well, so I'm just kind of throwing my special ones to try and get the higher ground, try and get out of the corner. But every time I knock him down, it is triggering his passive abilities. And I don't want to take him to SP2 because if he fires his SP2, I have fully evaded before, but if I don't evade it, it's just gonna give him a ton of power. But there I do accidentally push him to SP3, but luckily I'm able to get to my SP3 as well and kind of do my Doom cycle on him. Once I get into the Doom cycle, I was able to kind of get out of that corner. That helped me a lot actually. But after that, I'm just trying to play it slow and just trying to not trigger his passive, or not trying to parry him when he has his passive abilities, because he's just gonna shrug it right off. And I'm just trying to get into my Doom cycle as many times as I could, just so because that way I can knock him down and control his power. Plus he can't shrug off the passive stun. Not the best fight there, but we were able to get out with a solo. In this fight here, Nova on Ebony Flow Intercept and Sadist. I hear Doom is great against him, but personally I usually always Quake him. So I felt more comfortable using Quake rather than Doom, just because of the auto block. With Quake here, same as just any stubborn defenders, you just gotta parry right before the aftershock timer to get rid of the stubborn node. Sometimes you do have to watch Nova's charges. I think if he gets to 100, sometimes he does become unblockable. I have accidentally tried and parry while he was unblockable before, so it's usually a good idea to keep an eye on his charges to make sure he's not unblockable before when you're parrying him. But yeah, other than that, it's a pretty standard shake and bake fight. His medium attacks also don't make contact, so you can't stun him on those, so you just have to be on the lookout for those as well. But yeah, usually Nova's a pretty long fight with Quake. Oh, and sometimes he'll throw a heavy as well, but his heavy is pretty easy to evade. It's pretty slow, so you'll be able to evade it. But yeah, as you can see, it's a pretty long fight. If you're not running suicides, you do want to boost up on your attacks just so you don't time out. But most of the time, I feel like if I do run suicides, the opponents also run despair masteries. So I'm chipping away. I'm losing health like every fight, and so I'm just trying to not run suicide and see if I can boost instead. But yeah, this next fight here is Cosmic Ghost Rider on Ebony Flow Intercept and Redouble Determination. The plan is just to keep him in that Doom cycle. I'm not too worried about either of those nodes. Doom can usually just rinse and repeat him down. So I usually like to do medium, light, and then heavy until my opponent has 2 bars of power, and I'm just gonna dash in and use my SP1 to power drain, and then dash back and hold block, and then repeat that process until I have 3 bars of power and my opponent has at least 2 bars of power. Because of the redouble determination, he's gonna gain a lot more power, which is good for me actually. But that's when I throw my SP3 and then do a medium, light, medium, and then light, medium, and then throw my SP1. And I'm just gonna hold block immediately to try and bait his medium attack, and I'm gonna reparry and then go in again to do the medium light, and then heavy, and then that's gonna shoot me up to SP3 and him back up to a SP2. So I'm just gonna keep doing that cycle until he's dead. Now you will take a little bit of block damage just from his medium dash in before the reparry, but it's really not that much block damage in the long run, in my opinion at least. But yeah, more than 3 minutes left on the clock, and he's pretty much dead. Doom is a very good option for him on this node, in my opinion. Next fight is Killmonger on Ebb and Flow Intercept, Redouble Determination, Crumbling Armor. Strategy here just to keep in armor broken. I think it's a 12-second armor break with Mr. Fantastic Synergy on Doom's Heavy. I think that is just enough for me to get through my Doom cycle. You'll see sometimes when Killmonger is being a little bit passive, I am going to run out of the time on the armor break, but it's usually not that much of damage from the reverberation. Right here, Killmonger throws an SP2, but he doesn't trigger his indestructible charges. I'm not sure why. I didn't think Doom was able to shut that down. I wasn't sure if that's because of Doom or because of a bug. I do miss an SP1 evade there, but it's not too big of a deal either. Once I'm in my Doom cycle, it's pretty much game over. Right here, you'll see that he's kind of being a little bit passive. So my armor break timer was running out, and I do take some reverberation damage, but it's not too bad. I just get right back into my Doom cycle. I still think Mr. Fantastic Synergy is pretty good option with Doom against Killmonger on this node. And next fight here is Dragon Man on Rage and Return Policy on Mini Island. Plan here is just to use Quake and parry at the start of the fight to shut down his power gain. And then I just have to have Concussion up when his power gain cooldown timer is expiring, and that should shut down his power gain altogether. And then it just becomes a simple stubborn Quake fight. Just make sure you parry right before the aftershock timer expires to get off the stubborn. Right there, I missed a parry, so he threw his heavy attack. Luckily, I was able to evade that. I wasn't sure how I did that, to be honest. And the final fight for me will be G99 on Hurt Locker, Power Focus 1, and Enhanced Special 1, and Power Drain. But with Quake, you could just ignore all those nodes. And plus, she's not a stubborn defender, so you could just Quake and shake her down. Quake also bypasses her regen, so she won't be regening at all as well. And her armor too. And yeah, she goes down pretty smoothly with Quake. That is it for me from this war. Shout out to Polly U for soloing the Apocalypse boss with Void. Unfortunately, we do take the L for this war, but we'll bounce right back up. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys on the next one.